the
Red
barchetta.
Yeah, red. Yeah.
It's not barchetta. It's barchetta.
No, it's barchetta.
It's not barchetta. It's barchetta.
You got to say
Italian.
it like an Italian.
Well, that is Italian. If you're reading it phonetically, it's not it's spelled barchetta, but it's pronounced barchetta.
Well, I speak English. I don't speak Italian.
Okay, well, you can speak stupid, so that's fine. What a good good argument ender. Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and well, that's pretty much it. So let's go.
Hey, this is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we break down one of their records. We get into the music, the lyrics, how it was made, the artwork, the band members, and everything in between. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars and 5 stars only. Please go share with all your friends. Tell your friends about how great we are because we are the best. So with all of that, all of the boring intro out of the way, let's get into it. What are we doing today, Jeff?
We're doing Rush's album, Moving Pictures.
Moving Pictures. This is their 7th record. Wait, 7th fucking record? I don't know. This is a record from them. It came out in 1981. Arguably their biggest record. You know, the heavy hitters on the record, Geddy Lee on bass and vocals, Alex Lifeson on guitar, Neil Peart on drums. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know right there. Just setting this up right now, we are not the biggest Rush fans in the world. Rush fans are kind of crazy, and they know so much about this band, every minute detail, so we're probably going to miss some stuff, but whatever, that's not why you're here. You're here to listen to us yammer away like I'm doing right now. So
correct.
Let's get into our origin story. What's yours, Jeff? Go.
I'll also say, I know his name's not Neil Peart. It's Peart.
Peart, whatever.
Neil I don't fucking care. I'm going to call him Neil Peart because I've already been doing it for so long. I'm not going to change. Oh, damn it. Get off my lawn. So, fuck off. Yeah, origin story, Rush. Here we go. I don't have a lot of fond memories of Rush. I just don't. Over the years, I've heard Tom Sawyer. That's about it. Like, Tom Sawyer's really only been the Rush song that I've even like tolerated or entertained. In more recent years, probably in the past like 5-10 years, I've gotten a little bit more into them. And when I say a little bit more into them, it's still not that much more into them. Honestly, the biggest thing that like got me more into Rush was I Love You Man.
Oh my god.
The movie.
Yeah.
What was that? That was like
2008?
5 years out of high school. Yeah.
2008, 2009, something like that.
So like we were like 20, let's say 20 to 25.
Yes.
That was the movie that got me more into Rush because they were so excited about it. Therefore, I was so excited about it. I was like, oh, cool. Maybe Rush is pretty dope. But then I listened to more Rush then. I was like, I don't really fucking care. It's kind of annoying. But like, I only kind of like got into like the 80s era of Rush, and there's too much synth, and I just don't really want to care. I don't want to hear synth, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until Crest of Steel. When I picked up Crest of Steel at Uncle Aldo's attic, that was when I was like, damn, I really want to do Rush now. I really want to get into Rush because this is nothing like anything else I've ever heard by them. And I was right, because there's nothing else like they've ever done. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Everybody.
Origin stories, this is not very exciting. But I don't think this band is very exciting either, to be honest.
All right, my origin story is my mom. My mom really liked Rush. She had Moving Pictures on CD, and we listened to this record constantly. She listened to some of the 80s stuff, but I didn't. Even as a kid, I didn't really like it. But really, Moving Pictures, when I was, I don't even know, as far back as I can remember, my mom listening to Moving Pictures. And, I actually took her to see Rush on their farewell tour. I believe that was in 2013, 2014. I don't remember. Whenever that farewell tour was, I took her to that. And the first time I had ever seen Rush, she had seen them a few times back in the 70s and 80s, or I believe maybe just 80s she had seen them. And yeah, so that's my origin story is my mom and the album of the week, Moving Pictures, which, like I said, is arguably their biggest album. I think it is their biggest album, actually, their most successful album. You know, the big bangers being Tom Sawyer and Limelight. Those are really their biggest hits. And so yeah, let's get into our initial thoughts on Moving Pictures, and if we have any stinkers on it, and then we'll jump into our biggest bangers, our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Bs. So what do you got, Jeff?
Oh, you always say go. When you don't say go, I just sit here. I don't know what you want me to do if you don't say go. But yeah, Moving Pictures is their biggest album, and it's crazy because if you all information should be taken from Wikipedia anyway, but Moving Pictures didn't even sell, even to this day, over 5 million copies, and we're talking like No Doubt's fucking Tragic Kingdom sold 10 million. That's nuts, right? Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I know, right? It is. Ugh, but they're almost as influential as bands who have sold 20 million records. You know, they really are a very, very influential band in the prog scene, in the rock scene in general. People always cite Rush as being an influence, so it's pretty rad.
I feel like okay. Let me throw some. This whole episode is going to be why I don't think Rush is as great as people pine over them. I guess I should say as Rush fans pine over them. Yes, they are always mentioned as an influence, but I rarely see them mentioned as the influence. They're always saying like, "Oh, fair. I'm influenced by this band, Rush." Yeah, they're always mentioned up there, but they're not the main influence for a lot of like the bigger acts. I really focus on Neil this week and really trying to soak it all in as to why people think he's the greatest. And after this week, I will say that he's top 3, dude. He's without even like questioning. He's top 3 drummers of all time. He's unreal. He is unfucking real. And I think I kind of boiled it down to 4 parts of Neil. Like 2 of them are practical, and then the other 2 are kind of like more existential. The 2, what was the question you even asked me?
I asked you what your initial thoughts are on Moving Pictures.
Okay,
but it's fine. I mean,
I'm gonna do what I want anyway.
This is what the pod's about, man. Yeah, just go for it.
There's no what do you call it? No regulations or no constraints. No restrictions.
Restrictions. Wow. No restrictions. We've been doing the pod for 7 years now.
Had a thesaurus there, and they use all the words except for that one. So like 4 things. So the 2 like practical things. One is he likes to cascade the toms. Right?
Yes.
Fucking loves it. That's like his bread and butter right there. That's his
like
go-to
for sure.
He loves it. The other thing is his groove on the ride. His whatever he wants to do on that ride, or whatever. That was just a generic thing that I just did with my mouth.
That was very.
He does a lot of things on the fucking ride, and it's all gold. It's all gold.
He loves the bell on that ride. He loves to hit that bell, that crisp ting. Ooh.
And he knows when to hit it hard, and he knows when to quiet it down and shut the fuck up. So nuance to him playing the drums is incredible. The other 2 things are a little more extracurriculars, but his ability to always better himself. He embraced like the electronic sound. I know like either of us don't really like the electronic drum set or anything like that, but what came with the electronic drum set was also more percussion instruments. And some of the later albums, and in this one too, like we're hearing him play not just a drum kit, but we're hearing him like he's like that guy that played at Disneyland with all the fucking gongs and cymbals and all this other weird shit behind him.
Not Michael on the Road. Not Michael on the Road.
I know. I was gonna say Michael on the Road, but I know it's not Michael on the Road. I still believe it's Michael on the Road. But
dude, what episode was that? Like maybe a year or 2 ago. We were talking about Michael on the Road, and it was like a half-hour long discussion on who Michael on the Road was at Downtown Disney. Super hyper local, and we never figured it out. I mean, I knew who it was, but we couldn't find anything about him online.
Friend of the pod Ryan also said it was not Michael on the Road. Yes. I am still 100% convinced, and I would bet money that it was Michael on the Road.
Michael on the Road was the guy with the guitar, and he sang to a backing track. He had a big banner behind him that said Michael on the Road. His wife was always selling all this merch, his CDs, all that shit. The person you're talking about, the drummer, was somebody completely different.
But he always stood up, and he always had a table out, and his wife or some lady was always selling his shit.
that I don't remember that part, but yeah, he had a lot of percussive instruments, a drum set, everything. He was a percussionist, and he would also play in Downtown Disney. And I remember we tried looking it up too, but we could not find anything about him. He's completely lost to time. Yeah, completely lost to time. Yeah,
and we never bought a CD from him, so that's why that's
did.
us. But yeah, Neil. I think what makes Neil so great at the drums is that he got good at one thing, and then stopped doing it, and then like reached out and did something else, and then got great at that, and then stopped doing it, and then when he went into the electronic drum set, he's like the best electronic drum set like person that I've ever heard. Like even like the little cast, like you hear Phil Collins at the In the Air the Night where is it right? But Neil's like, like
he does his normal Neil stuff.
He fucking slays it. Yeah. He slays it. But then he adds all these other like little nuanced fucking percussive instruments. So whatever. I think Neil was always getting better. He was always trying to push himself to be a better drummer, and it never came off as pretentious. Never.
Yeah, and definitely in the 80s, which we talked about, on the rankings episode, especially in the 80s, early 90s, he played more to the song rather than churching everything up like he was doing in the 70s. But that just shows like it wasn't him being lazy. It wasn't him. It wasn't that. It was just he just changed his style and he progressed. That's what a good musician does is they progress. They don't do the same thing over and over and over again. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Neil is fantastic.
The best way I can compare how much I respect Neil is by comparing him to Travis Barker. When Travis Barker sees the opportunity to insert a fill, to insert anything that can make people look at him, he does it, and it sounds like it. But when you think about like Rush's songs, there's very little songs where there's actual like silence. Neil's busy, dude. He's always doing shit, but you don't really notice it. You don't really notice it because he's playing to the fucking song. So like, how is it that Travis can't fucking get his head around that? Like, take a page out of Neil's book, dude. Neil never stops fucking. He never shuts the fuck up. He's constantly playing.
Yes,
but you're never mad, right? Like it's unreal.
Yeah, but it's also because he's not a one-trick pony. His kit is so enormous that he could vary up the styles. He could vary up the variations of what he's playing because he has so many pieces on his kit. Travis Barker has a 5-piece kit, very, very small, very minimalistic. So he can only do so many things, and it's always something loud. Travis is not a dynamic player at all. He's an amazing player. He's great at what he does, but he's not dynamic. He can't drop into a jazz groove very easily. That's just not his thing, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not dissing the guy, but he does one thing really, really well. Neil, on the other hand, can do so many fucking things. He's just such a virtuoso.
He really doesn't ever shut the hell up. He never stops playing.
But he knows the nuance. He has the nuance.
I like watching him play because he can hit that left hand on like on the hi-hat and then groove with his right hand, and his right hand will go off on toms and snares and other cymbals, and then he'll switch to where the groove is now on the right hand on the crash or the ride, and his left hand is now hitting toms and snares and other cymbals. It's like, dude, the way he like just switches back and forth and back and forth, and yeah, he has his massive kit, but he uses every single piece of that fucking thing. And then when you see him. Right. Because I watched a lot of live videos, and I watched this like really bootleg documentary too, because there was a lot of like focus on Neil, and you watch him play like these live shows, and at some point you'll be like, well, he never hits that little tiny cymbal, and then for like half a song he'll incorporate that little tiny like China cymbal into like most of the song, and then never use it again, but he'll focus so fucking much on that like 45-second part, and like it should be annoying and it should be overpowering in the song because it's so like aggressive and abrasive, but it's not. Like he's both. Yeah. He both like hits the shit really hard and is very annoying, but also kind of dainty. It's unreal.
But I think it's weird too because all three members of this band, from an instrument standpoint, the guitar, bass, drums, they all do pretty intricate things. Especially Geddy. Geddy and Neil are the two most intricate players, and that's not a diss to Alex, because Alex is an amazing guitar player. But he doesn't church things up the same way those guys do. He's not as flashy of a player as them, and I don't know what my point was, but maybe it's just dude. Maybe just like the busyness of everybody else kind of makes it so it makes it so Neil doesn't stand out as much because everybody's really fucking busy. I mean, they really, really are, especially Geddy. Especially when you throw the synths in there too, because the synths, Geddy is not a good keyboard player. I mean, when you throw him up against what's his name in Yes,
Rick Wakeman.
Rick Wakeman, yeah, he doesn't stand a chance against him. Like, he's not a great keyboard player. He's a great fucking bass player,
and he never got better.
No, he never did. He did the same thing all through the 80s and 90s. He did it.
All he does is fill up space.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, you can argue the stuff he does in Tom Sawyer is catchy, but it's not intricate. It's not.
That's the catchiest he's ever done. That's the best he's ever done. That's the best keyboard playing he's ever done.
Agreed. It is, but it's still very minimalistic. It's still very amateur. That keyboard riff in Tom Sawyer is very fucking amateur, especially when you throw it up to somebody like Rick Wakeman, and what he did with Yes was just the song. Just everything on Fragile is just blows Geddy's keyboard playing out of the water. It's not even fair.
Rick Wakeman's a piano player. He's
true,
a classically trained piano. Like, the dude plays fucking Mozart in his bathtub probably, because that's what he does. Geddy's like a bass player, I think, that just picked up the synth because they wanted to add nuance to their music.
That's exactly what it is.
So
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because he's such an incredible bass, like truly an incredible bass player. One of the best ones. One of the best players
honestly,
of all time.
I've never like latched onto his bass playing because, for one, I hate the fucking synth, and I hate the way that he plays it because he's shit at it. And two, his vocals get annoying. I don't care. They're fucking annoying. They're nasally. They're high pitched. And if I'm not listening to pop punk, I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear it. and he's fucking ugly. I don't care.
Yeah,
he's ugly.
He's tough to
I don't want to look
at
him. The nose is the size of a Volkswagen. I don't want to fucking look at him. He's ugly. Okay.
Oh man, Canada season is starting off strong.
Yeah. And the fourth thing. Hold on. Oh, I had one more thing. This is because this will lead into the initial thoughts, and we haven't hit that yet. We're still in the infancy stage of our pod here. The fourth thing is Neil's songwriting. His songwriting,
which he's not even credited as a songwriter, which
like lyricist, I should say, lyricist, specifically lyricist.
Okay.
Lyricist. I think he's fucking great.
Yeah, I think he's a great
just basing off of what I like, kind of skimmed through, and then getting deeper into moving pictures. I was like, holy shit, dude, you're a smart dude. Like, this is like a philosophy professor at a college who had now like decided to become a really great drummer and then writing lyrics. Like, the guy was well read. He knew a lot of shit about like poetry, about like classical literature. Like, he's just a very, very smart guy, and his lyrics show it. And like, god damn, he was a good lyricist.
And he takes his time. It's what I thought was so cool about this band is like everybody knew their role. It's like, okay, we're gonna record a record. Geddy and Alex are gonna go do their thing, write the music. Neil, go write the lyrics. That's what you have to do, and then we'll convene. We'll see how the lyrics match up with the music, and then we'll go from there. And I thought that was so cool how they incorporated the lyrics, and they essentially, I don't want to say that they wrote songs around the lyrics, but they how do I put it? They took the lyrics into consideration in the context of the entire song, which was never really done. It's always like, okay, let's do the music and then write the melody around the music, and then the lyrics are essentially not throwaway, but they're the last thing to add to the entire process. But the lyrics are a part of the actual song and the structures of the song. And that's what makes them such a great prog rock band, is that they build this, everything is so intertwined, and you could hear it in the proggier songs, and in the Cygnus and in 2112, you can hear that. You could hear that melding of lyrics and music. It's incredible songwriting.
It is.
And it's a shame. It's a shame he doesn't get more credit.
Lyrics. I love his lyrics, and yeah, we talk like there's a lot, singers who don't write lyrics, and the Sabbath lyrics are cool, and even like Fall Out Boys, he didn't write the lyrics. Iron Maiden, even he didn't write the lyrics. But like, dude, Neil's lyrics are the shit. Like, I love them. I absolutely love them. I adored them. Great. They were poetic. They told stories. They were introspective. They were accessible. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
And honestly, props to Geddy, because in the beginning, once Neil joined the band, he realized, oh my God, I don't like writing lyrics. Neil is amazing at this. Let's have Neil write the lyrics. Let me focus on the music aspect of it and let Neil do what he does, not what he does best, but one of his really strong suits in writing the lyrics. And he just let him do it. Like, look at any other frontman wanting to write lyrics and sing. Like, they would never give up the lyric part of it. I mean, outside of, your Sabbath and Iron Maiden, like most bands most other singers aren't going to give up the lyric part of it, because that's part of what they do. But yeah, I love how he set his ego aside and let Neil do that. I think that's so fucking rad.
It's dude, this band is something else. Like at their best, this band is great and mind blowing and amazing, and at their worst, it's just a tired dad rock cover band. So like there's highs and lows to this thing, that even on this album there's highs and lows. So I don't know. Neil's great.
This is we talked about in the rankings episode. There are some records that are so top heavy, like side A is just so perfect, or side B is so perfect, and then the other side just really kind of lacks, because just one part is so much better than the other. And I feel like that's how this record is. Side A, Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, YYZ, Limelight, just fucking solid banger after banger. Side B, The Camera Eye, Witch Hunt, and Vital Signs, they're fine. The songs are good, but I mean, do we really need to listen to side B?
No,
honestly, we don't need to listen to side B.
You don't need all of side A.
I mean, there's really only one song on. There's only one. I don't know. Do we just want to get into the bangers, or do we have any stinkers on this record?
No.
Okay, I don't have a stinker
either. I have nothing that was even close to being a stinker, but it was really just me like debating, like, is this really a banger though? Like, no, it's just not. I love this. I love this part. I like what you did with it, but this is not a banger. Yeah, we can run through the side B first and then really focus on side A. I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. So yeah, the Camera Eye opens up side B. This is split into two parts: the New York first half and then London in the second half. This song musically, I just think it's a run-of-the-mill 10-minute or 11-minute prog song, but it doesn't really go anywhere for me. It's the lyrics that I really like about this song. But musically, it's lackluster, I feel.
This one felt like an 11-minute fucking song. Like, it was...
It drags.
This motherfucker was long. What I really liked about this was Alex. His like clunky approach to that ding, 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 ding. There's no nuance to it. It's amateur. He's super fucking loud in the mix. It sounds like a kid who just learned how to play the guitar and he's playing out his first riff with the band. And it's just like, wow, man. Like, I know you're great. We know you're great. I like that you did that. I respect that. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the guitar lead really is the only thing that drives this song. The song starts out with that like 2001 Space Odyssey kind of synth, just kind of building up, and then it's not until 3.5 minutes in where you get the first verse drops, and then you get just like typical poppy, happy Geddy Lee singing, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I've heard this. Like what Alex was doing in that build up could have been so much better had it not gone into that poppy element of the verses. But really, yeah, I mean, I guess Alex is the best part musically on here.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just I like the way he played that main riff. I just think it's amateur.
Yeah,
fucking amateur, and I love that.
Yeah, and then kind of halfway through, it kind of drops into like not a tempo change, but it drops into, it just changes direction. It's when Neil drops into that kind of like that offbeat kind of disco beat thing he does for no fucking reason, and it only lasts for like a minute, and then it just cycles through everything again. This seems like I guess a cookie cutter prog song. It's not bad by any means, but it's just after coming off of side A, like what is this? We've seen you do so much better in such a short in a shorter amount of time. So
it's really about like, I can't fucking believe you got away with this long of a song, and like
I know,
and like this is what you put out. Like, really? Like, we've heard, like Strangiato, we've heard 2112, we've heard Cygnus. Like, this is what you fucking do?
It's like you could cut out most of that intro. Wow. You can cut out some other bits, and then you could really get this down into like a 5-minute song, and it would have been way better. As a 5-minute song, it would have been way, way better. Maybe 6 minutes. But 3.5 minutes before you even hit that first verse, which is fine. Like, I understand, that's how a prog song is. If you don't have a strong intro into that first verse, it's tiresome, and that's what this song can be. Very, very tiresome.
Yes, it's too long.
Yeah,
too long.
Lyrically, though, I do like the lyrics. Like I was saying, it's split into 2 parts, only really essentially split by a chorus. The first half is about New York, the second half is about London, and it's really just Neil's view on what he sees the common people. The common people's like, common people is a bad way to say it, but just like the everyday life, the everyday life of New Yorkers, the everyday life of people of Londoners, I guess you can call them, right? Or Britlanders, and just kind of like how he views them in their everyday. It's his view of their everyday life, and I thought that was just it was a cool concept, and the way he describes it, I thought was really cool. It was really cool.
This reminded me. We've talked about this before, and I had to Google it. But there was this bit on Nickelodeon called "The Space Between Mr. Freer's Ears."
Oh, I love that. Yes,
it was that guy that would just listen in the New York, and he would just hear like a footstep, and that footstep would become like the bass beat, and then he would hear like a bus drive by, and that bus would become like this, and it would all come together to where it was this orchestra of just like New York City sounds, and they actually recorded New York City sounds to make like a song, and then like at the end of it, cool. it would just dissipate and gone, and then he would just go about his day, and like that's what this song reminded me of. It was just Neil actually it wasn't so much as like Neil interacting with the city, but like how the city interacted with Neil, and how he walked through these cities, like soaking in the nuance of the day-to-day life, and then putting that into musical terms.
Yeah, and the way he described New York was like a very cold, like the people were cold, just everything was just very unnatural. But like the way he described London was still kind of cold, but it was a little bit, I don't know. You just have to read through the lyrics to really kind of get what I'm trying to trying to point out here. But it makes sense. I mean, I've never been to New York or London, but I get it. Just
London.
Just its portrayal of in the media and how people talk about each of these cities, like I get it. I don't know. I get it.
Well, like especially New York, and like New York is romanticized in a way that's, I don't know, like it's always the topic of conversation wherever you want to go visit. But it's a shithole. It's a fucking shithole. Like this is not
like most other big cities, yeah. Yeah.
But like New York, even more so because it's so fucking expensive. Maybe like Frisco's another one too, but like nobody romanticized Frisco. Frisco's a shithole. Everybody knows it. New York is like it's like a beacon of hope for travelers, for immigrants coming to America. But it's garbage. Like really, like, come on.
I mean, you've been a few times, so I mean, I trust your opinion.
I would never go back there.
I have no desire to go. Tammy wants to go. She's always wanted to go to New York, and I always tell her like,
go once, call it a day.
I've told her like I've almost zero desire to go there. I just don't. It just seems gross. And she's like, I love cities. I love how gross it is. Like, why do you like that? She loves L.A. She loves downtown L.A. I don't know why.
New York's a different type of gross. So like it's just, it's the worst.
It's I fucking hate LA too.
At least
and
LA
anybody who's
like
ever been to LA,
and shit, and it's fucking warm weather and it's nice. New York is hot in the summer and cold in the winter. Fuck that place. I don't want to live anywhere where it snows in the winter and then gets like over 100 degrees in the summer and humid. Fuck that.
Okay, that's fair.
Pass.
That's fair. All right, let's move on to Witch Hunt. What do you have on this one?
Well, that was a spicy meatball right there. That was a good lime. I thought you were going to go longer, so I took a little bite of a lime.
No.
You get the little like gleek stuff in the back of your throat, like next to your jaw in the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that feeling. Yeah, that.
So much gleek right now. Witch Hunt. This one starts off intense. I like Neil's tom tone. It's loud. It's deep. It matches this song perfectly. It's just I feel like this song is just a goof off session for Neil to flex his vast array of percussive like parts on his drum kit. That's really what this song revolves around. And then like for him to write lyrics accordingly. And the lyrics are cool, but I don't know. They're a little low hanging fruit. Easy, I guess.
Yeah, it's a almost 5-minute song. The last two songs, this and Vital Signs, are 4 minutes and 45 seconds, I believe. And it's just, I feel like they're just here to make a full length record. Really, it's just there's nothing here.
There's really not.
It's not bad. It's good filler. Let's just say that it's good filler.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It's a lot of it's for Neil to kind of to play around on his kit. And you hear some cowbell on here. There's some wonky shit on here. And apparently this is this is the first of 4 songs that ended up becoming became the what's called the Fear series for Rush fans. And I don't know. It's just most of the songs are from shitty albums.
This is like part 2 or part 3. It's not even part 1.
I know.
It's like the second or third part. So that just shows me like they wrote other songs and maybe this song kind of sucked and they're like, oh, but I like kind of what we did there. Let's expand on that. Like afterthought. Like, yeah, dude, just do it right the first time or fuck off.
Yeah, it's whatever.
This is my least favorite song on the album, like easily, hands down.
Yeah, this is bottom tier for me. But what I liked about this one, so it starts out with kind of the ambient chatter of people, and this is they actually Neil, I believe it was Neil. He went out and actually recorded, or they recorded. No, it was Alex Lifeson. He went out and recorded people actually talking outside of the studio, like in the middle of December in the cold, and you can never really hear what people are saying, but it's just indistinct chatter. And then so you hear that the chimes come in. Once again, the chimes come in. There's a small little synth build up. Guitar fades in, but just when it finally does drop, it's a fucking basic ass riff and whatever.
I will say, like, I've never heard somebody use like the phrasing indistinct chatter outside of watching like closed captioning on TV where like something's happening and it says indistinct chatter. I swear, dude, I've never heard anybody say that in real life. No, that's exactly what it is. I've never heard anybody say it in real life. I've read it 1,000 times. Like any hotel you've ever been to, the closed captioning is always on. I've just never heard anybody say it. That's good.
Oh my God. So what do you have lyrically on this one?
This one was cool, right? Like mob mentality, like the human condition deteriorating and showing the ugly side of our species once enough of us get together with a loose concept of what we want. And honestly, I know we use like Genius lyrics to like kind of like break things down, but when I just kind of like Google lyrics, and then on the Google page before we even click on Genius, the Google page will just show you the lyrics. Yeah, I like to read those as I listen to the song for the first time, and like it always reminded me of the scene from Men in Black with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, where Will Smith said something about like people are like you can trust people are smart, and Tommy Lee Jones was like, no man, like a person is smart, a person is good, people are dumb, panicking, stupid, and then fucking Genius, somebody stole it, somebody put it in there, somebody embedded the clip. I was like, hell yeah,
really? I didn't even
like that.
I don't go that deep because sometimes like the annotations are just bullshit. So
they're fucking wild and clearly it's just somebody being an asshole. But yeah, I've always loved that scene. I've always thought that was like, yeah, that's like a perfect description of like the person versus the people. Is a person is smart and calculated and people are just dumb as fuck. And it's true.
I mean, you nailed it. I've honestly have nothing more to add to the lyrics on this song. You nailed it. So then let's get into Vital Signs, the last of the worst songs, the filler songs. So apparently Getty claims that this song was written in 5 minutes. I mean, do you really believe that? Come on.
I mean, the song sucks, so yeah.
I mean, but still, come on. It's still more complex of a song to write in 5 minutes. But anyway, yeah. It kind of starts out with that cool little synth thing. Simple riff.
It sounds like a fucking Miami Vice car chase shit. Like, that's what it fucking sounds like.
But did you hear a lot of Stranger Things too? I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
Stranger Things came out 40 years later, 30 years later, but
that's what that vibe is. That vibe is like a Miami Vice kind of like fucking
yeah,
like purples and reds and pinks and neon signs and shit like that. That's what this sounds like. It's dumb. But it does find itself nicely. That bass line, dude, that bass line's fucking rips.
It's
that bass
good.
line is solid.
And I don't know what effect he's using on that bass, but it has a very electronic, a very electronic feel to it or sound to it. So I like that part of it, but there's still vocally there's this 80s thing. I don't know what kind of effect he's running his voice through, but I don't like it. It's too 80s and you also Neil starts with he doesn't start, but he plays an electronic kit during a part of the song too, and it just sounds just too cheesy, way too cheesy for me. So
yeah, it's
Vital Signs, the last song, whatever.
Sounds dumb. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to get to the good stuff. Honestly.
Let's get to the good stuff. I only have 3 bangers from this album.
I got 4, but
which is your lowest banger? The
Red
Barchetta.
Yeah.
It's not Barchetta. It's Barchetta.
No, it's Barchetta.
It's not Barchetta. It's Barchetta.
You got to say it like an Italian.
Well, that is Italian. If you're reading it phonetically, it's not It's spelled Barchetta, but it's pronounced Barchetta.
Well, I speak English. I don't speak Italian.
Okay, well, you can speak stupid, so that's fine. What a good what a good argument ender. Like, what do you say to that? Like, okay, well, that was fun. You speak stupid.
And
like,
that in itself just sounds so fucking stupid too. Oh my god.
Fucking child. Good.
Holy shit. Okay, so then what's your 1B? Number 1 banger.
Are we just completely done with Red Barchetta?
Well, no, because I thought we were going to go through our. Okay, well, we'll talk about Red
Barchetta. That's your 4B.
It is my 4B.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's my 4B.
Let's get all the bad out of the way. Then we'll go to the good.
It's not okay. Musically, it's fine. The lyrics, I fucking love. I love the lyrics of Red Barchetta.
Correct. Barchetta.
Okay, so Barchetta, but that's fine.
Barchetta.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up, Bush.
It's just it's unfortunate that it's wedged in between Tom Sawyer and YYZ.
That's true,
dude. You had no chance. What were you thinking?
I know.
The groove is cool. When everybody finally comes, it's actually not pronounced YYZ either. It's YYZ, apparently. Stupid. Dude, Alex is playing those kind of like harmonic sounding notes, whatever those things are. Those are cool. I like when Geddy does those excited kind of vocals where he gets a little diaphragmy, like fly by night. When he's doing those things, that's cool. But yeah, my favorite part of this is the lyrics.
Yeah, it really is.
These are amazing. These are so cool.
Well, so just kind of going back to the music. Really, the highlight to me is that transition into the bridge from Neil. It's so heavy, it's so insane, but he keeps it so tight and locked in with Geddy and Alex. It's just remarkable. I mean, that's the only word I could use to describe it. That transition is fucking perfect. Also,
like
the guitar
bridge,
solo. Though? The bridge is fine. The solo I really like.
Hate the bridge.
The solo I like though. The effect he has on his guitar, and then Geddy's bass is so thick during that part. It sounds so fucking good.
And it's just classic 3-piece Rush.
Yeah, it is. It is. And like you said, it's a shame it's wedged in between Tom Sawyer and YYZ. YYZ, whatever. Red Barchetta, whatever. Who cares?
Barchetta.
But it's cool too because the song kind of ends the same way it starts. So you could really just put this on a loop and barely hear it start over. So I do like that, how it starts and ends.
Yeah,
but but musically, I think it's a little bit lackluster in the context of side A. So yeah, that's why it's my 4B. So let's get into the lyrics. So his lyrics are based off of a short story called "A Nice Morning Drive" by Richard Foster. I read the short story, and obviously I read the lyrics, and it's cool, man. I really love the lyrics.
It's super cool.
Yeah, it's rad.
Yeah. It's fucking rad, and like the Red Barchetta, It's based on this like specific like 50s era kind of like James Bond looking Ferrari.
You looked it up too?
Fucking rad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course
it's
I
like
did,
some like old ass roadster and shit. It's fucking cool. Yeah.
It looks like some shit like James Dean would have driven like off the cliff in Rebel Without a Cause. It's fucking rad.
Which is an overrated movie, by the way.
Well, hold on there, dude. I don't think it's overrated
is,
because people don't talk about it that often anymore. I think it's adequately rated, and that car scene is just that's the bee's knees.
I also think James Dean is wildly overrated.
No one thinks he's like the great actor. People think he was hot, bro. He was cute.
That was it. That's the only thing he had for him. He was a good looking.
That's all he is. He's a heartthrob.
Otherwise, Devil Without a Cause is not that great of a movie, and he's not a good actor.
Wrong and fair.
It's true, man. It's true.
Rebel Without a Cause is fucking amazing. And no, he's not a great actor. He was good looking. He was like he was like Josh Hartnett of the time.
So you throw it to some
because like really like Josh Hartnett did like Pearl Harbor and stuff. Like people like pined over Josh Hartnett. People still do, and I just don't.
You could have done Brad Pitt.
But Brad Pitt like plays in like really good movies. Josh Hartnett kind of just like plays in chud. He's just like what has Josh Hartnett done?
Okay, we're talking about how good looking somebody is. We're not talking about like the movies. No,
I'm talking about how good looking somebody is based just off of their looks, not off their merit. Brad Pitt's got merit. He's got range.
He does.
He's got range. Brad Pitt's got range. I have not seen range from Josh Hartnett.
40 Days, 40 Nights. You didn't like that one?
30 Days of Night? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
40 Days and 40 Nights is Harrison Ford.
No, it's Josh Hartnett too. It's the one where he. No, it's Harrison Ford's not in it. It's like a rom-com where he vows not to have sex for 40 days.
Oh yeah.
And then he meets this like because he just got dumped by his girlfriend, so he meets what's her name, who I was in love with growing up. I fucking loved her. Jocelyn Stone. No, what's her fucking name? Oh, I can't remember her name, but she was in A Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
She was beautiful. But yeah, so he falls in love with her, but then he vowed the 40 days to not have sex. And then like on the last day, his ex-girlfriend comes back and then she rapes him and then he blows his load and then, his 40 days didn't work. What's her name? Jocelyn. It's Jocelyn
Shannon
something.
Sossamon.
Shannon Sossamon. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved her.
That was a good one. That was a
good movie. Yeah.
That was a good movie.
It's a good movie of its time. Like She's All That. It's good. And then what's the one with oh my God, what are the two? The Joker. What's his name? Heath Ledger.
Knight's Tale.
Well, not a night. Well, that one is of its time as well. But no, the rom-com, the 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh yeah.
It's all kind of lumped into that. Yeah.
I mean that one's very. That one's is a bunch of grown ass adults playing like high schoolers. At least like the 40 Days and 40 Nights. But like 40 Days and 40 Nights never felt like I haven't watched it recently actually. So I
watched it like a year ago.
But like, does it hold up, or is it kind of just like, this is fucking weird? Okay.
It's fucking. It's just a weak movie. It's a weak movie, and anything I liked about it is just held in nostalgia. That's really what it is. Oh, and then okay, kind of off topic too. I went back and watched Van Wilder last week. Dude, that movie is not good. It's not good. I used to really really dig that movie when we were teenagers, but that has not aged well. And Ryan Reynolds is so annoying. He's not funny.
I would think that movie's probably like borderline kind of like rapey at this point.
Oh, dude, there's shit in that movie that would not fly nowadays.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've not seen that one either since like high school.
I think I watched it on Prime. I think it was on Amazon Prime. But yeah, it does not hold up at all.
I mean, getting the deep cuts there on Friday night and stuff, huh?
But Tara Reid in it. I mean, she was just a fucking babe back then, right?
Tara Reid was like that era of trash. Nobody respected her.
But she was like the girl, like, oh man, she's hot. But then looking back, dude, she was not that hot. She was not good looking. But yeah, those movies are all those movies of that era were terrible. They were pretty much
not
all
very
bad.
good. Well, I like 10 Things I Hate About You is still solid. It's still fun. It's just they're grown ass adults playing kids, and that's just
playing
dumb.
kids, yeah, or American Pie. Same thing.
Heath Ledger's supposed to be like the senior in high school who's a bad boy. Like, dude's a grown ass man.
I know.
Like, because he can't grow facial hair does not mean he's not a grown ass man.
I know.
So yeah, whatever. Fly by night.
So I saw something yesterday that Stranger Things got delayed because of all this, the actors strike or whatever, Writers Guild strike, and it said that it's not going to probably be released till 2025 or 2026, and it said that all the actors, by the time it comes out, or by the time they film it, they're all going to be between the ages of 21 and 26, and that fucking blew my mind.
That is weird because they were like fucking tiny little kids.
They were actual kids. They were actual kids. But now they're going to be grown-ass fucking adults.
They're snot-nosed little brats. And now they're grown-ass adults.
Yeah, weird. But anyway, back to Rush. We really went off on a tangent there.
Yeah, this song, are we talking about the lyrics now? Is that what
the lyrics of Red Barchetta.
Yeah, Barchetta.
Barchetta.
Yeah. So they're cool. The song's about a car chase. But the song, Johnny Law versus the Red Barchetta. But it's also about like this dystopian future where technology is overpowering and the need for simplicity and now against like the law, hence like the Barchetta. But the way like Neil builds this world so quickly, he builds these characters so quickly.
Yeah.
But he focuses so much on like the love affair with the car. I think it's unreal. I think it's fucking rad. And my favorite line in the entire like album here is from this song. And it's when he says the two words mechanical music, when he's referring to like the way the car sounds.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a good line.
I'm not a car guy. Like, I don't know fucking dick about cars, but like that's just cool. Mechanical music. He's talking about shifting gears, and I can drive stick. Yeah, but it's like I'm a little bit of a car guy, I guess. I can drive stick. But mechanical music. I just thought that was so rad. Like, damn, man. Like, this is the drummer. This is coming from the drummer.
I know. And so how it kind of differs from the short story is that it takes place more in like the future is a little bit different because in the song he's being essentially chased by the cops, but the cops are in this like what are called air cars, and the only reason why and apparently the character goes out every week, takes his uncle's Red Barchetta, and he goes out on a joyride just to kind of run away from the cops, and then him and his uncle have a laugh about it that night. And so that's what it is. And then he outruns them because he goes over a bridge that's too narrow for the air cars, the air patrol, whatever they are. And so that's kind of like the gist of the song. But in the actual story, the A Nice Morning Drive, did you read the short story?
No.
So the short story differs in that it does take place in the future, and in the future cars are built differently, and cars made because in the short story it takes place in like 1984 or something like that, and so and the short story was written in 1972, I believe. So it takes place in 1984, and then it's set up to where like cars made after like 1975 or whatever are banned because of like government regulations, because the government's essentially taking over control of citizens and what they're allowed to do. So it does have that dystopian thing going on, but apparently like driving like an old style car, it's not illegal, but the way that they build current cars in this scenario, in this timeline, is that they try to go and destroy the old cars. Like if they see you on the road, they're going to run you off the road and try to destroy your car or kill you or some shit like that. So in the short story, he's running away from, or he's he's being chased by these two like modern cars that are trying to essentially kill him, and he's just kind of avoiding them. And like the way he describes like just outrunning them and just his kind of feel of the car, it was, damn, I wish you would have read the short story. I wish you would have read it.
That makes it even better. That makes it better
so
because
cool.
he's not just ripping off the short story. He's taking bits and pieces of what he liked and putting it into like a contemporary sense, because this is 20 years later after that short story was written. And that's a very Orwellian thing, right? The 1984 classic. I've read a couple books in my day, okay? And that's a very Orwellian thing to think about. And I think that's cool that he took that and then made it his own. It's not about like a fight to the death. And who knows what would have in his story? Who knows what would have happened if the cops did catch up to him and catch him? We don't know if he would have died or not. But based on like what he was saying in there and how he was laughing and the mechanical music and how in tune he was with the car, this was a joyride. This wasn't an escape from death. This was just something he did just to kind of be a douchebag, because he was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do this. I know I'm not supposed to do it, but I'm gonna do it. I know I can outrun you, so come and get me anyway. So kind of just, dude, James Dean, baby. Rebel without a cause. Just cool as a cucumber, baby boy. Cool as a cucumber.
The biggest difference, though, between Neil's version and the actual story is that in Neil's version, there's a happy ending where you know, he gets back to his uncle's house, no harm, no foul, or you know, he didn't get hurt or anything like that. Nothing was ruined, and they have a laugh about it. But in the short story, he is, and by the end of it, he's being chased by two different cars. They essentially run him off the road, but he ends up escaping, and then they end up hitting each other, you know, head on, and they end up killing each other, the people who are chasing him. But his car is so damaged that he never is able to restore it back to where it was supposed to be. So he kind of loses because of, like, essentially because of government interference and government control. He's lost his own freedom in that he can never restore his car to the way it was. He can never go back to the way things were. And it's just, it's a sadder ending to the story, because it's showing the constant beat down of the government on the people and on regulations and shit like that. And it's a very kind of, the guy was definitely criticizing like environmentalists and shit like that, and how government is taking too much control over the environment and what we can and can't do. And dude, this is like the early 70s. This guy is bringing this shit up, and we're seeing all this shit now with like government overreach. I mean, not to say that we're great with it, like humans are great with the environment, but there is massive government overreach. This guy was talking about in the early 70s when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I thought it was a really good short story. A fairly short read. It was only like 3-4 pages. So it was fun. It was really fun. And Neil did a great job, you know, making his own version of it. And then reading about it too, they wanted to credit the guy, the Michael Foster guy, but they were never able to get a hold of him. They would try to call him. They would leave messages. He would never get back. So they didn't officially credit him. They just said inspired by or Richard Foster's story, A Nice Morning Drive. And then Neil and this guy Richard Foster eventually met, like in 2007, I think it was. They met at like a motorcycle expo or something like that. So they eventually did meet, but like 25 years later. So I thought that was
so
cool too.
Neil's so rad.
Neil is
so rad.
So rad, but so tragic too. Like a tragic life, but
yeah,
got an incredible musician, and just seemed like such a cool guy. We'll get into some of the lyrics on some of the other songs, but yeah, some of the lyrics, like the guy was not troubled, but he hated fame, which we'll get into later. But yeah, anyway.
Yep. Okay.
Anyway.
But
Red Barchetta, my number 4.
Barchetta. What's your 1B? I know it's YYZ, but
100% it is. That is my favorite Rush song.
Do you want to just do Limelight and then Tom Sawyer and then end with YYZ?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go back. Let's do something a little bit different.
Because that's my 3B's, Limelight.
Yeah, same here. And I assume YYZ is your number 1. YYZ,
that's
whatever.
Not even a fucking... Yeah, not even yeah, it wasn't even close.
All right. Let's see here. So yeah, what do you got on Limelight?
I think this is Rush's best riff. Like if you take a single riff from Rush, this is their best. This is it. This is their most iconic. I think it's simple, but it's a little bit nuanced, right? We're not just hitting kind of like power chords. We're leading up to those power chords, and the lead up to the power chord is really what we're focusing on. That because you could just do you could do something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's the lead up to that power chord is what fucking like we hang on, and it's simple, but it's amazing. And I love this. I love that intro riff. It's so amazing, and I like that. There's a lot of like little pauses in the riffage too, right?
Oh yeah.
I love these little pauses. And that last little pause in the riff before we get kind of that like descending progression, and then Neil drives it all forward like super nicely. He's not like hitting the bass drum on every note, but it sounds like he is because you do a lot of toms, and man, it's just this fucking wall of sound that he's bringing at you. Like,
no, you're right.
Love it.
I completely agree with you with the riffage and all that main riff. But something I want to bring up in the verses, Alex playing. I really like it. Really like Alex's playing with the heavier riff, but he never does the full lead thing. But then also the transition fills from Neil, and then that little pop punk stop. I like to call it the pop punk stop, where everything stops and he does that quick little the little tom hits right there. It's fucking that's pop punk right there. That's pop punk 101.
It is
pop punk 101, and I fucking love it. And it weirdly it gives the song like a really nice swing to it. Just having that stop. I that's my favorite part of the whole song are the pop punk stops. Through and through, the best part.
Like the reason why this is a 3B, and it's a 3B because of everything else in spite of this. But I think the chorus is weak. I think the chorus is super weak. Like, I appreciate the softer and calmer like chorus contrasted to the more aggressive verses, but I really think this chorus is fucking weak.
Yeah, it's too airy. It's too kind of ethereal. It doesn't. Everything else is too hard hitting. It's too much of a drop. Yeah, it's too much of a drop.
The chorus is filler compared to like the banger of everything else.
Yeah, and overall though, the song is really more of a straightforward rock song. It's not. They don't really church anything up too much. Neil does maybe a little bit, but everything is pretty damn straightforward on this song. But it's done really well.
Dude, there's like 3/4 parts here. Like there's like three like Neil goes from these 3/4 grooves like and then back into the 4/4 groove, and again like it starts and ends with that 4/4 groove, and so you never realize like he's going into other things, and even like I don't realize it just reading up on the song, and then going into these different forms. Be like, oh, listen to this fucking part starting at 2:38 or whatever it is. This is when they start like the 3/4 groove, and then it goes back into this. Like I never would have noticed because of how seamless he plays the drums. And just because he's doing a 3/4 groove doesn't mean the other guys are doing 3/4 grooves. They're still going the 4/4 thing, but they end at the same time. And I don't I don't know too much about like musical theory like that, but like that's fucking nuts.
It's incredible.
Man. Like I know 3/4 grooves as like a waltz or as like My Name Is Jonas. Like that's it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Got to bring it back to bring it back to the Weezers, right?
Dude, Weezer taught me 3/4 groove or 3/4 time signatures before anything else. That's crazy too. Like just real quick, like the first thing you ever fucking hear from Weezer is a 3/4 groove.
It's kind of weird.
Their first album, first song, first album. Come on.
Yeah, it's a little odd. Odd.
God damn, Weezer's good.
Yeah.
This guy over here saying fucking Blue is not as good as. I'm not even gonna go into that. It's just gonna be mad.
Oh, you want to talk about it? I mean, you brought it up.
She's gonna be mad.
So what you're referring to, people who don't listen to the pod often, Weezer's Blue is not as good as their album. Everything will be all right in the end. That is the second best Weezer record. Everything will be all right in the end. Pinker is obviously number one. That's just silly boy talk. But yeah, Everything Will Be All Right in the End is better than Blue. I love Blue, but it's not. But it's better.
It's not. It's really not.
It is.
That's okay.
It is. You and Shady need to take off your Weezer goggles. Open your mind a little bit. Have some fun. Have some fun for once, because I know you guys don't have a lot of fun.
Dude, and just like the way Blue starts and the way Blue ends is better.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Blue starts
but everything
off
in between
with the waltz, and it ends with the final note resolving everything. That's it.
But everything in between is better on Everything Will Be All Right. Well, that's just the way she goes, boys. That's the way she goes.
You're so wrong about that. I'm going to put that on the list too. Shit, you're so wrong about.
All right. Let's get into. Actually, I do want to talk about how at 2 minutes and 35 seconds, everything stops. The guitar kind of comes wailing in, and they all kind of start to build off of each other's part. And then that I just love how straightforward and solid that guitar solo is too. And just how can they just
bluesy,
stop? And then
it's psychedelic sounding.
Yes.
It's a solid solo, even though it's compared to like Alex's normal solos and what he's capable of. This is like the opposite of what he should have been doing here. But I like that he did this. I like that he dumbed it down, took it back. Take it back, y'all.
And Alex has said this is his favorite guitar solo he's ever written for the band. People or fans say that this is the perfect the perfect Alex Lifeson guitar solo, which is like, come on, dude, come on.
I get why it's
great.
his favorite. It's his favorite because he can do so much to it. It's just basic blueprints. It's like playing with a new group of guys and you're jamming and like let's just do like a blues thing in E. Here we go. Like that's my favorite solo is a blues thing in E. Like yeah, because you can do there's limitless potential with that. I get it. That's his solo. The solo is so basic. It's so blues in E, so blues in A. It's just there's a limitless potential of what he can do with it. That's why it's his favorite because he can tweak it over the years and make it his own in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. So I get it.
You get it. All right. So what do you have lyrically on this one?
This is, limelight, right? This is about living in the limelight, being a rock star, but also being an extreme introvert and not knowing how to deal with it. This song was kind of like my least favorite lyrics of all because I just...
Yeah, it was...
I don't want to like talk down to anybody that feels the way they feel, but like, bro, you're in a fucking rock band, X amount of albums deep, and you're over here acting like you fucking don't want to be a rock star. Then don't be a rock star. Just the fuck up.
Also, when you have like all these poetic lyrics and shit, these stories that he writes, and then you get something which is a little bit more vulnerable, obviously, or is more vulnerable, but it's pretty basic.
Ugh, it is basic.
It's pretty basic. Yeah, just whatever.
Dude, you're fucking 8 albums deep, bro. Like you telling me you don't like the Limelight 8 albums deep? Like, what are you new? Come on.
And then, I don't know anything about Shakespeare, but people say that the opening line of "All the World's a Stage," I guess that's a Shakespeare reference from one of his plays. So I guess it was the play As You Like It.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know. I'm not a Shakespeare'sman, so I don't know.
Well,
I don't know about that, dude. I'm not. Well, actually, I do know about that because I'm not. All right. Do you have anything else on the song? Musically, lyrically? Nah.
We got two big
two heavy hitters.
Big piles of poop to shovel here.
All right, so Tom Sawyer, the opening track, their most popular song. Pod talking, dude. That shit's hard.
So dumb.
So this song, yes, their biggest hit. And one thing I want to say here up front, so much happens in this short amount of time. This song is 4 minutes and 36 seconds. It's really astonishing how much they cram into the song, but nothing ever seems rushed. Get it? Rushed. And this is absolutely a perfect song. The synth part is, yes, it's a little bit cheesy, but this is the only time where I felt like Geddy actually nailed a melody on the synth, on the keyboard.
Yeah, I agree.
It's fucking great. It's great.
This is the only time that his synth playing is acceptable. The only time. The only time he adds rather than just takes away. Because first of all, I love this intro. That
oh yeah,
like
just,
that
it's
sound.
So menacing.
Like damn, that's aggressive. That's fucking cool, dude. Like the audience, like THX style, right? Like the audience is listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am listening, and the synth comes in like hard, but we don't get that. We don't get that until later, right? So let's
it's much
build
later.
first. Let's build first. Neil's got cool parts during that riffage of like the in the beginning. It's kind of cool. It's cute. Everything's happening. But man, when Geddy drops that like that thing,
it's so out of left field. It's so out of left field.
Wow, that's fucking cool. That's some mind blowing stuff, man. That's some mind blowing stuff, dude. That's cool,
that's
man.
true, dude.
It's futuristic. It's a little bit scary. It's adventurous.
And he does it so much. That drop, that initial synth drop that he does it so goddamn much throughout the entire song. it's and until you get to the solo. Like that, he's hitting it almost at every fourth bar. He's hitting that drop. He does it so goddamn much. It's a lot, but it never takes away from the other guys. The music, the vocals, nothing. It's sick, man. It's fucking cool.
The song is just all about like build up and then in transitions and. Like Neil's like this song, dude. This song is fucking proggy as fuck, and it's like ethos and how it like presents itself as a song. Like this is prog at heart, and it's amazing. And then when we drop into the groove itself, like Geddy leads it on the bass, and then like Alex just gets to noodle for a minute until they actually like all get back into it, and then it's already done, and they do something else. My God.
It's like a hyper version of every prog song they've ever done. Like I said, I can't believe how much they put into a 4.5 minute song. It's fucking unreal. Also, Alex's the main riff, Alex's riff, it's heavy, man. I feel like it's so overlooked how heavy his actual riff is in this song because everything else outshines him. I mean, he's really, I hate saying it because he is an amazing guitar player, has some amazing riffs and parts, but he's the weakest part of the song, hands down.
Yeah,
hands down,
for sure,
the weakest part, and that sucks because, dude, his guitar playing is fucking amazing in this song. Also,
he's lucky he's the weakest part. Honestly. You'd be lucky to have a guitarist this good and be the weakest part of the band.
Right? It's like some Primus shit, you know? Every guy in Primus is phenomenal, amazing, but everybody just picks up on Les Claypool. They sleep on Lur and on the drummers. I was going to say the drummers, not just Jay Lane, but all the drummers. And just Neil's drumming is just incredibly fucking tight. And he's hitting those drums so goddamn hard, especially when he's doing like the closed hi-hat. He's doing like the 16th note on the hi-hat and then just slamming on the snare. And then you know, every fourth hit or whatever, he's just slamming on the snare and the crash just so incredibly hard. Immediately transitioning into the what is it called, the cascade?
Yeah,
is that like a real term?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay,
I don't know.
So it's not like a real term; it's just what you're calling it.
It's official now.
Yeah, I mean, I do like it.
The cascading. That's what it sounds like. Cascading tom rolls.
Yeah, it really. It's
like
a great way to describe
like a Guinness cascades downward.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to describe it.
Cascading tom rolls.
So yeah, it's just how the intricacies of his playing in this song is just remarkable. And dude, these guys are 8 albums deep. 8 fucking albums deep, and they write a song like this, which is equally as much poppy as it is, you know, proggy. It's truly a gem, truly a fucking gem, and they deserve every bit of recognition for this song because it's amazing.
This song, yes.
And then getting into that at like 2 minutes in the song, that he's doing that synth thing, and then it kind of like modulates. I guess it's the best way to, or a way to describe it. Like it modulates out, and then he gets back on bass. Because I love in this song too, where you can hear him stop playing the bass, and he's just fucking playing the keys, and there's no fucking bass at all. But everything else is filling in the space, so you don't need the bass. But then when you hear that synth kind of go out, and then you hear him hit that bass again, it's like, oh my god, dude, this is incredible because his bass tone is so cutting in this. It cuts through the mix so well. And then Alex drops into that solo, and Neil and Geddy, just that the way they're so locked in is fucking amazing during that.
Dude, Neil in the solo is
bridge.
like the best part of this entire album.
Oh yeah.
Neil in this solo is unbelievable. He's accentuating Alex. He is picking up on what Alex is throwing
bells,
down.
Man. The bell rides. Oh my god!
But he's also like carrying the song forward by himself without being flashy and whatever, and he's letting Alex breathe. But he's also like pairing up with Geddy and still making sure that like him and the rhythm section is in sync. So he's doing like 3 parts, right? He's playing his own kind of like little solo in the background. He's making sure Alex looks great, and he's also like pairing himself with Geddy. And it's just like I watched like a lot of videos where it broke down the solo, and it was just like Neil on the drum part solo, like the isolated drum parts, and it's like, god damn, dude, you're so fucking busy. You're doing so many different things.
Yeah.
And all the whole time he's just kind of like smiling, kind of like looking around, like he's like hungry for a cheeseburger or something. He just doesn't. I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
It's flawless.
Yeah, it really, really, really is. And then leading out of that solo, that's when you get like the famous where everybody air drums the cascading on the toms and everything. It's so fun. It's just such an incredible way to wrap up that solo and that bridge and that climax of the song, because really the song is like, it is like a story, because you just have that build up, the musical story of it, and it really climaxes with the solo and then Neil doing the crazy fucking drum shit, and then it just drops right back into the verse, just right back into it. The heavy hitting closed hi-hat, hard ass snare hits, and Geddy singing. It's fucking incredible. It's incredible.
Dude, then like you talk like just influence on Primus, like Geddy's vocals here, like that's Primus. That's the way. They're the mean bride. Like, even though it's not as aggressively goofy as Les, like, dude, that's Les Claypool right there.
Isn't it weird how how Les Claypool is so much goofier from vocal wise, but it's so much more acceptable than Geddy Lee. Like, he's so much more interesting than Geddy. I get annoyed by Geddy's vocals, but Les
pretty
Claypool,
much on
I could
every
listen
song
to,
except for this one.
Yeah, but Les Claypool, I could listen to him sing
all
and
day.
talk and do shit for hours.
Because
But
he
Geddy
doesn't
Lee,
pretend
I don't
not
know.
to be goofy.
Yeah,
And like even the
that's true.
style is not goofy; it's just quirky. I mean, goofy's the wrong word. It's quirky. Geddy and Rush itself, they're not a goofy band. They're a
Zero
serious
fun.
band, and
Zero fun.
zero fun. But man, dude, like the again, like the mean pride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride. That's fucking Les Claypool all day, day.
You're right. Oh man,
Silly
what
boys.
a great song! And then some. Going back to the solo a little bit too, which I thought was cool. So Alex Lifeson talked about he broke down the solo, and he said this one was done in five different takes, and he said like after the first two he was just like over it, and he said usually like the first two takes are his best ones, and that's usually what's taken and then chopped up into what you eventually hear on the record. But he said in this song, there were parts from all 5 takes that were used in the solo, all chopped up. And I guess it made it a little bit easier for them on this record because they actually recorded this record digitally, which is crazy. In 1981, they recorded this shit digitally, or 1980. I think it was actually recorded in 1980, but then released in 81. But 1980, you're using fucking computers and shit to record this. And what they were doing
Brian
to record
Wilson
this
was
record.
doing it years prior to that.
Well, I know, but I mean, Brian Wilson, that's entirely different. For a band like Rush, they're too complex of a band, I feel, to do something. I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but
Okay.
I just thought it was cool the way they recorded it and how they just like spliced together all these parts from the guitar solo into one cohesive thing that we hear on the final product. And then also this was the first time that Geddy had used something outside of his Rickenbacker to record. He used a Jazz Master he found at some like fucking random pawn shop that he bought, and recorded this song on a Jazz Master. So I thought that was pretty cool too. So
I've always,
instead of his
I'm
Rickenbacker.
not always, but like I noticed that Geddy plays the bass a little bit weird too. Like
In what
I
way?
see a lot of like bass players with their thumb on like on the pickup or their thumb on like the thumb rest, and kind of like their right elbow like outward, and their fingers kind of like spidery to where they're plucking things. You can see like their fingers moving. Where Geddy's kind of got like his right elbow tucked in to like his side.
he kinda
And
does.
As I'm saying this, I'm doing all of these motions too.
I was literally doing it too. My elbow was literally on. I'm like,
stupid.
oh yeah, you're kind of right. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
But like
can
I
see that.
don't like slowly put my elbow in, like I jerk my elbow in, like as if any fucking person is watching me do this right now. And then like the left part of his right thumb pad is like resting almost on like on the E string, and then he's plucking, and then sometimes like I almost see him like hit that fat E string with the left part of his right thumb pad, and he's doing other things. So I don't know. It's a weird way to play guitar, and I think that's why I'm not the guitar, the bass. So I think that's why it sounds like he's playing. It sounds like he's playing the guitar
Yeah.
because every note you hear and no notes like kind of bleed together with each other to where it's like like Steve Harris, like triplets and shit. It's like you hear every single fucking note that he plays because he's deadening the strings or the string after he hits that after said note.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know. Like
No,
if you watch him play, he like everything's just close to the chest. Everything's super close. He's not like like the fucking Rob Trujillo down low, and he's not like Steve Harris like outward hitting those triplets with his fucking fingers like extended inwards. It's weird.
I've never paid that much attention to the way he plays, but now I want to go check it out. Did you see too? Like they've recorded most of their records up in Canada, and this one is one of those records, and they recorded it in November and December of 1980. You know, in the snow. You know, super like it was like 40 below zero up in Canada, kind of a like rural part of Canada too as well, right outside of Ontario. Or in Ontario. I don't even know how all the provinces work and cities work up there. But anyway, middle of fucking nowhere. Yeah. And Alex Lifeson said like it was just kind of, it wasn't miserable working there, but it was just so goddamn cold that just they couldn't go outside. They were very limited to what they could do outside of making music because it was so goddamn cold. And then I was watching, I guess, the music videos for the songs on here for like Tom Sawyer and Limelight, and they recorded the videos at the studio, and it was like, dude, this is beautiful. Like, because behind Neil was like just this giant fucking window. It was enormous. And it was just like the forest, the snowy forest. And it was snow. It looked fucking rad. It looked so goddamn cool. Can you imagine in the middle of winter recording or writing a record? I don't know. I just the whole atmosphere and the look of that was so rad.
There's a lot of people. There's like a lot of people that live in Arizona that are transplants from Chicago. Yeah, and I always think like why the fuck would you leave like Chicago, dude, and come to Arizona? I'm like, oh, because it snows too much. I'm like, dude, the snow's fucking rad. It's so cool. And then they start showing me pictures and they start telling me about their day-to-day life. And after just hearing how horrible snow and cold can be, I understand why people that grew up in it and live in it fucking hate it. I get it. It looked beautiful to us because, you know, Southern California, dude.
Because I'm sitting on my couch when it's 90 degrees out here.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, like, it's just, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I would never live in a place where it snows that.
I was literally, today I watched these videos. I was sitting in my air-conditioned living room watching TV when it was 90 degrees outside, thinking, oh my God, dude, I love it. It's so fucking cool. Oh my God. Such a fucking idiot. Such a cuck.
Yeah. Well, it's just, it's regional. Again, regional.
It is, yeah. It is.
It's not my fault I was fucking born in Southern California. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Okay, so do you have anything else on the music, or do you want to jump into the lyrics?
Nope, that's good for the music. They can get into the lyrics.
All right, so I don't have too much on the lyrics here. What do you got?
I got lots. I got lots and lots and lots. Obviously inspired by the Mark Twain, Tom Sawyer, right?
Yes.
But also taken from an early poem given to Neil by a guy named Pi Dubois.
Dubois? Did a lot of stuff with Rush? Or did a lot of stuff with Neil?
Dubois. Pi had it called Louis the Warrior. But the song is really just about like fearless individualism. Super solid lyrics. A strong-willed, strong-spirited, but still cognizant of the world around him.
Mm-hmm.
This is I think this is a beautifully written song. It tells a story as well, gives us like a very clear picture of who this Tom Sawyer character actually is. Not like the titular character from the Twain books, Tom Sawyer. It's just this version of Tom Sawyer or the Louis the Warrior person. I love that Tom Sawyer here is also a reflection on Neil himself, some type of introspective approach to aging in life and music, right? 8 albums deep here. Yeah. But Tom Sawyer knows that change isn't always for the best or even permanent, but change is inevitable. It's the only constant, and that that stuff, and that's that phrasing. The only thing, what is it? The only constant thing is change or some shit like that. Greek philosopher. I can look it up too.
I looked it up.
What's the fucking Heraclitus or some shit like that. He said the only thing that's constant is change or something like that, and how he parallels a river as constantly moving and changing and adapting and equating it to the human condition. And this song kind of does the same. And I like that because the iconic imagery of Tom Sawyer and his boy Huck Finn floating like aimlessly down a river, like, right? That's them just like floating aimlessly down a river, just whatever, nothing's going on. But they're discovering more about themselves as the river pushes them through, right? So the river representing time and them talking and being on that and seeing the world around them evolve and change, but they're also changing with it. I think it's fucking brilliant.
That's fucking solid, man.
I think this is some of the coolest lyrics we have done on the fucking pod in many, many moons.
Yeah.
I think this, dude,
there's
I think
some amazing
lyrics
on here.
I don't know. I'm at a loss for more words. I think everything he did here, dude. Neil knew his shit. Neil knew his shit. He knew what he was doing, but he was also just very, I don't want to say shy about it, but very, very reserved. It wasn't like he was like feeding it down or shoving it down your throat. It was like, this is what I like. This is how I like to read books. Mm-hmm. These are the authors that I like. Here is how I take from that and then putting into my experience. And I love Tom Sawyer. I love this song. I love these lyrics. I think these lyrics are phenomenal. I think they're some of the best rock lyrics ever written.
They're fantastic. And kind of going off of what you're saying too, you know, the individualism, it's him kind of rebelling against society and the status quo and everything like that. And just having a different view on life and what you believe in. And, you know, there's even a point where he talks about being arrogant, you know, and how people who do follow the status quo and don't want to learn more, they don't want to have their own ideals and beliefs and things like that. They think people who think differently from them are arrogant. The fear of change, like you said, the fear of change makes people, I don't know, the fear of change makes people lash out. They makes them, you know, ostracize people in society or just things in general. And that's kind of how I feel. That's what Neil's trying to convey here. He's feeling ostracized from society, and he's trying to explain, like, okay, this is actually how I feel. I'm not being a jerk. I'm not being arrogant. I'm not being a dick about it. And I don't know. I feel like it all kind of ties in together. I don't know if that makes any fucking sense.
I like how like dorky Neil is. Like when he writes lyrics, I just like how dorky he is. He's like a fucking high schooler, like undergrad kid in college. He's a fucking dork. He's a guy that just likes to read Kurt Vonnegut and shit and sit under a tree and write these lyrics. But he's like the best drummer of all time. So like, you know what I mean? Like how the fuck does like the two things even coincide with each other? And then getting into more of like the introspective stuff and then in Vital Signs, we didn't really talk about the lyrics, but like just going back to it a little bit, I don't like the song at all, but like I read someone's take on Vital Signs as the song's not necessarily about like not conforming to societal norms, but it's more questioning the norms itself, which lead us to be individuals. Like we get our individualistic personalities because we question societal norms. Yeah. And depending on which societal norms we question determines on what type of individual we will become or the individual that shape us to be. And I don't know, that's cool. That's some deep shit, dude. That's some I don't know, eclectic stuff to think about. And this Tom right. Sawyer thing and I don't read a lot of books, but I've read a lot of poems and there are poems that incorporate the Tom Sawyer thing into it. I like just like the whole river thing. I thought it was just fucking brilliant, man.
That's
absolutely brilliant. Like Tom and Huck just floating down a river, not realizing that they're growing up as the river pushes them through everything, and it's just that makes me want to read more. I'm not going to, but it makes me want to read more.
Makes me want to.
I'm not going to, but it makes me want to.
All right. Do we have anything else on Tom Sawyer?
No, that's it.
Okay, so let's get into our number one our number one banger, the best song on the record, my favorite Rush song, YYZ or YYZ, however you want to say it. I don't care.
YYZ.
This is an instrumental track. This is just incredible. So what are your initial thoughts, I guess, on this song?
So right off the bat, right, we're getting that 5/4 time here, or 10/8 if we don't want to reduce to fractions, and it's the whatever the fuck it is, and he's and I recently found out recently that was redundant and stupid.
Yeah, very.
I found out recently that he's Morse coding the YYZ. It's or YYZ. That's what he's Morse coding, the letters YYZ. I think that's why I call it YYZ, because he's Morse coding YYZ, not YYZ. There's no fucking W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know. Nobody says that. Stupid. But he's Morse coding that. Dude, come on. Fuck? That's fucking a lot of thoughts all at once. A lot. That's very...
That was...
What he's doing here
manic.
is pretentious and cocky and fucking obnoxious. But it's only for the Yeds. It's only for the true Yeds. Yeah. He's not telling everybody he's cocky. He just sounds like a cool groove. And
it's a fucking killer groove.
Recently, I thought it was just a cool groove. I didn't know there was a deeper meaning to that killer groove.
I didn't know until a few years ago that was actually Morse code for YYZ, and then YYZ is like the aviation code or something for Toronto International Airport. Where maybe I'm saying that wrong, but you know, like LAX, JFK, you know, every airport has its own little abbreviation or whatever, and that's what Toronto International Airport is YYZ, which is very close to YYZ. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't look into that. Why is it YYZ?
So like LAX, it makes sense, right? Los Angeles International Airport, the X, and then you have like Phoenix, it's PHX.
PHX, yeah.
The reason for Toronto Pearson Airport being YYZ is just random. It's a completely random assignment of letters. Means fucking absolutely nothing. But since like this song, like YYZ has become like part of Toronto's identity. And then now that I like think about it and then thought about it this past week, whenever like the Toronto Raptors would play, like you see a lot of fans wearing like YYZ stuff on like armbands or T-shirts or other like paraphernalia, and it's become part of like their culture. And I
never noticed that.
That's fucking awesome. You'll notice it now though. Watch if any
probably
sports
will.
team you watch from Toronto, you'll see fans with like YYZ in various capacities and paraphernalia, and I think that's fucking absolutely amazing. Immortalized really cool. by this Rush song that doesn't even have words to it. It's so cool.
Oh man, that's so fucking rad. And okay, so really the song starts with Neil hitting those like bike bells. I mean, he's playing a drum machine or a trigger. He's hitting a trigger, whatever you want to call it. Sample, but yeah, no, it's the bike bells, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just drops into the, you know, Geddy, Alex, and Neil just dropping into that groove, that beat, and it's so goddamn hard. But then over all of that is just this like this menacing sounding, doom sounding synth, just note being rung out. Yeah, rung out. Yeah, it's so menacing. It's so like evil sounding. I just love it with the chaos, the precise chaos, I guess you could say, of everybody else just kind of hitting so goddamn hard. It's just incredible. The note matching between Geddy and Alex is fucking awesome too. I don't know. This is just an incredible solo. And it is. It's like 5 minutes long. It's short, but it encompasses so much. It's
it doesn't need to be longer than it has to be.
Yeah,
it doesn't overstay its welcome. And honestly, this could have been a 20-minute song. They could have expanded on so many of these parts. There's no reason why it could not have been that.
But like Tom Sawyer, they condensed this incredible prog song into 5 minutes. It's remarkable. It's fucking remarkable. And then at you know, well, like when I was saying the note matching, that's like kind of how the song starts between Geddy and Alex, and then at 1:10 it drops into this like solo lead thing with Alex, and then Geddy's just like doing the slap kind of bass thing. it's insanity. It's fucking insanity. It's some like Flea shit. Flea shit you'd hear in the like pretty much all through the Red Hot Chili Peppers career. But it's just you never really hear Geddy play like that until this, or really only in this song you hear that kind of slap playing. It's fucking wild. And then you go into that really heavily distorted funk thing that Alex does, like a minute and a half in. And then they do that back and forth. No. Wait, I'm not even trying.
Well, that's still like the intro part, but then
it's
like
still the intro. But it still has that funk beat to it. And then they do this. Alex and Geddy do that back and forth. No, not that part. Well, yeah, that's the back and forth. Oh, fuck, dude, I'm all over the place.
No, it's
just there's so much in this. Like I said, there's so much in so little time. It's almost hard to pick it apart.
There is a lot of melody here. I like so the song starts out with like Neil and Alex note matching, and then Geddy just making ambient noises that we just talked about. But then like Geddy comes in on the bass for that one bar, and then we drop into like the fucking most rad groove that they've ever done.
Yeah.
And this is topping like Caress of Steel, and this is the coolest groove that they've ever done. And you can hear like Geddy hit every single individual note on the bass. Like he's not smooth. He's not smooth like a guitarist would blend notes together with hammers or slides. But Geddy kind of has like his own like, it's almost like a jerky smoothness. You know, like there's something jerky about the way he plays, but because like every note is fucking jerky, it's a little bit smooth. And then like Alex throws in those little like offbeat chords that like, you know, for the next couple bars, and then goes back into grooving, and it's just like everything is just fucking amazing. All while like Neil is just like who do you want me to accent here? like Alex on the offbeats, like I'll accent you. I'll make sure that I put more emphasis on the backbeat here. That way it sounds cool for you. And with Geddy, I'll make sure that like I'm note matching you. That way it drives like your bass line forward. And then Neil does it all with just two fucking hands.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's amazing how many drums Neil actually hits in this song. Like he hits every fucking. It sounds like he hits every fucking tom in his kit, which is remarkable because his kit is enormous. And just the groove. It's really the groove. How well they all groove and how incredibly tight it still is. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. I feel like we can't even do this song justice talking about it because it's so wild and out of control.
Yeah,
much like what you were saying on Caress of Steel. A lot of that shit is insane, especially at that time. It's fucking insane, and that's how this song is. It's relentless. It really is.
Here's like what I think this song is. This is like, for people that like Joe Satriani or like Steve Vai and that type of like stuff, like this is it. That genre of music, that scene would not exist without like this song. This song paved the way for that sound. Like this sounds like a fucking Steve Vai song. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And then like Alex does this fucking like Middle Eastern type riffage too.
During that solo, I guess you would call it.
Like, what the hell is that?
I know, it comes out of nowhere. And then on top of that, you know, Geddy's just fucking ripping it up, just going out of fucking control. And then out of nowhere, there's glass breaking. Why is there glass breaking?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Why is there glass breaking?
I have no idea. It's absolute insanity. It happens like what, 3 or 4 times. All of a sudden, it's just glass breaking. Like they're dropping a cup or they're throwing a cup on the ground or something, a glass cup.
Man, dude, this song just builds and builds and then drops back into that original groove. Man, this song is just.
But can we talk about too? So that solo, the glass breaking, all that kind of shit. It's only 30 seconds. You get all this crazy nutty shit in 30 seconds, and then at 2 minutes and 51 seconds, everything drops completely into this like ethereal synth, big huge soundscape thing for maybe 10 seconds or something like that.
Brief, super.
And then
brief.
it just drops back into that main riff. It's incredible. It shouldn't make any sense.
It's so perfect.
Like if you were to throw like that part into a Yes song, that whole ethereal big soundscape thing would have been like 3-4 minutes. Like Rick Wakeman would have just like done this beautiful soundscape thing in 3-4 minutes. But here you get 20 seconds of it, and it just drops it back into the heavy riff. It's incredible. It's fucking amazing.
I really just can't believe that, like, one of their best songs. I mean, this is like YYZ's top 3 Rush songs without even.
It's their best song,
hands down. I'm not going to disagree that it's not their best song. It's goddamn, it's fucking good. I just cannot believe it's 4.5 minutes long.
I know.
Like, you guys, like, really? The next song, or the first song on side 2, the Camera Eye, like, that's 11-minute song.
Yeah, and
Why didn't you make YYZ an 11-minute song?
I know, they could have easily done it, but then maybe we wouldn't have loved it as much if it was longer. I don't know. Who knows?
I want more. I need more.
So today I watched them play this through all the decades in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I watched live videos of them playing this. Every single time it was flawless. Absolutely flawless.
And you can tell, because I didn't watch like through the decades, but I watched them play this numerous times. And like, they love this song, dude. They love fucking playing this song. They're all smiling. Geddy's fucking looks at Neil. Neil looks at Alex. And Alex looks at Geddy. And they're all smirking. They're all goofing off. And like, Geddy's getting, they all got their tight pants on. And Geddy's got super tight pants on. He's always tucking in his shirt too. He's always tucking in his shirt. I know he always tucks his shirt in.
That's true.
But they're always having a blast. Like, my God, seriously, if I wrote this song, I would fucking just. I don't know. I'd probably kill myself.
You can't get
nothing
better.
else I could possibly like do better in my life. This is it.
And after this song, they never did anything even remotely as good as this song. I mean, Moving Pictures was really the last great record they did. There's nothing that even comes close to the songs on this record.
Moving Pictures is the last good record they did, yes. YYZ is for sure the last great thing they did.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
Wow.
Insane.
It is. It's crazy.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
That was annoying, dude. And I don't know what I was going to say. I totally forgot what I was going to say. I want to talk about Neil's drum set too. How over the years you just see it grow and grow and grow. And watching the video for the video, I put that in scare quotes. But the video for Tom Sawyer when they're playing in the studio at the studio up in Canada, he's playing on a very conservative small kit. I mean, it's like maybe a 6-piece, 7-piece kit with 3-4 cymbals, like very, very small for him. And then you watch him like play like actual and he kills Tom Sawyer. He just absolutely fucking nails it. And then you watch the actual shows in the early 80s on this Moving Pictures tour. And his kit literally surrounds him.
Yeah.
He could swivel. He could turn around in his chair and still be playing drums. Do a complete 360 and play drums the entire time. His kit, people always talk about it. Like him and him and Terry Bozzio have arguably the most interesting, craziest kits out of any popular drummer, like, without a fucking doubt. And they utilized every single goddamn drum. It's wild. Absolutely wild.
Pretty good.
I don't know, man. I guess we can. Are we good with this song?
Yeah. I got nothing else.
I mean,
I'm good throwing my notes here.
Yeah, nothing really else. I guess
actually.
We could touch upon the artwork real quick. The artwork was kind of cool. It was, it has different interpretations depending on what you're kind of looking at, which I thought was cool. Actually, the artwork is pretty rad. The concept.
Triple entendre.
The concept is really
stupid
cool.
Artwork. I don't care.
The concept was cool. The way it was presented was a little cheesy, but I did like that. I was reading like a couple years after this album came out, they actually revealed because on the back cover, it's a film crew filming the actual main album cover, and people for a couple years didn't even know that it was an actual video, and it was just a still from the video. And then while they were whatever tour it was, they actually played the actual video of them taking filming the whole process of the album artwork, which I thought that was kind of cool, right? Kind of like it was cool.
Interesting. It's interesting.
It was cool. was cool.
I don't think this album artwork is cool. I don't think it's great. I think it's fine. I think the concept of moving pictures it's a very Prague thing. Like, oh, it means moving pictures physically. It means they're moving pictures like emotionally, and I'm crying. And moving pictures or directing film. I don't fucking care. It's dumb. It's ugly. It's stupid. It's silly. Don't care.
Like I said, I like the concept.
It's no fly by night.
That's what I was gonna say. It's no fly by night. It's no 2112. Definitely not one of those two. Love me some fly by night artwork. The best. But yeah. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Let's give our final thoughts on this record and rate it based off of our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album and give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So what do you got? Go.
Oh, I don't know. I still think Rush is just overall, because of all the things that they've done, all 19 albums, like Rush is just overall not that great of a band, guys. They're just not. They've got a handful of albums that are good, and they've got an even smaller handful of albums that are great. They do a couple things really pretty good, and this is their most popular, and this album's not that great. It's got 3 songs that are bangers. It's got 1 that is arguably their best. I would not argue against it. But dude, this band, I don't know. This band's kind of boring sometimes. A lot of the times. Yeah. After this, they get really boring.
They get really boring. Yeah.
They're fucking just boring.
But it's like Neil Young. We're only gonna really rate Neil Young on his 70s records. Come on, really? We're not gonna say anything post 1981 really is that great. It's the same thing.
That's a tough comparison because realistically, Neil Young did kind of the same thing fucking over and over and over and over.
Exactly.
These guys did progress and do things new and try to branch out and become a different band. And they have changed over the years. And Neil Peart fucking has vastly changed over the years. More than Geddy and Alex for sure. Alex has changed the least. At least Geddy tried to. And what I really hate too is I really hate that watching live videos and Geddy's slapping the bass. That was also from I Love You Man. I Love You Man's so good. It's a good movie.
It's a great movie, but that is so overdone. It is
overdone. It is overdone, but it's vastly appropriate for tonight's episode. It had to have come up at least one time. I'm surprised it took this long. It had to have. But what bothers me is when Geddy's hitting the bass and going at it, and then puts his hands down and just sucks balls at playing the fucking keyboards. And what are you doing? Why are you doing that? And then because he sucks so hard at playing the keyboards, he even has pedals. You can see his feet moving, and so he's just hitting loops. And so he sucks so bad that he can't even just keep the fucking rhythm going on the keyboard. He has to hit a loop, and then do a little lead part on the key. God, he's so terrible at the keys. At keyboards. Yeah. Oh, it's so annoying. Anyway, this album's a 2 at best. That's what this album is, and it's only a 2 because of YYZ. You take YYZ out, I mean I'm hoping it's a 2 because of Tom Sawyer. Limelight, it's a great song, but it's a riff. I think Limelight is a riff. Tom Sawyer is perfect. YYZ is a fucking historic beyond banger, but this album's a 2. It's really not that great. Second half is pretty mediocre. Red Barqueta is a great lyric song, but the song's not very good. And this is this is what sold the most. This is what made them, gods among rock. Really?
Look at Foo Fighters, plain old people vanilla. That's what people love.
But Rush isn't plain old people vanilla.
Look at Caress of Steel.
Vanilla since day one.
Look at Caress of Steel, how that's been shit on by Rush fans.
Don't. Why would you even bring Foo Fighters into the conversation with Rush? See, if I did this, you'd be all mad. Oh, you can't fucking compare. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. It's just gonna be mad. So yeah, I a lot of thoughts I just threw out here in 5 minutes. How long I've been talking. This album's a 2, dude. It really is. It's not. It's just not great by any stretch of the imagination, and we only did it because of YYZ. Even if it was their most popular, if YYZ wasn't on this, we probably wouldn't have done this, because I'm not going to sit through this fucking album and only listen to one good song and one song that is good because I really, really like that riff.
All right. So you gave it a 2 out of 3. I agree with you. I think this is an overrated record. I think it's the second half for sure is lackluster, but Tom Sawyer and YYZ make up for it. Limelight is great, but it's still more of a straightforward rock song.
It's a riff.
Yeah, it's a riff. Yeah, okay, you're right. But it really is those two songs, and that's really why the only reason why I'm going to keep this on vinyl is for those two songs, or the first half, really, just for the first half. Gonna keep it on the vinyl. I do like that part of the record. It's just it is weak and it's vanilla Rush. It's vanilla Rush. It's not bad Rush, but it's vanilla Rush. And there's just so many better records. And a couple of the reasons why we did Moving Pictures this week was because it is their most popular, and also this gives us free range to do more Rush records in the future, to do Caress of Steel, to do 2112, Farewell to Kings, Hemisphere, whatever it may be. We could do more Rush, but I feel like us doing Moving Pictures was a good start, and then in the end we could take a deep dive into the proggier stuff of Rush. So this is just an introduction to us and Rush on the podcast. And with all that, after all this talking about the band and all 19 of their records, I will also give this a 2 out of 3. It's good only because of Tom Sawyer, YYZ, and a little bit of Limelight. Really, that's why. And then the lyrics in Red Barchetta. But that's it. I
will say, too, that I think Neil's my favorite drummer of all time now.
Oh my God.
I do. It's the lyrics, dude. Like, Neil has inspired me to like get back into reading. Like, the only thing I ever really read is like poetry and like plays. Like, those are the only things I ever really like sat down and actually. I'd never read books. I just like poetry and plays. And this week's these lyrics have inspired me to read more poetry.
That's good though. Go read that short story too. That Red Barchetta was
put in my list. Put in my list.
You could read it in 5-10 minutes. It's quick. It's just a short story. Super quick. So go read it. Everybody out there, go read it.
I'm gonna buy a fucking Walt Whitman book right now.
Okay, go do that, dude. Walt. All right. So do we have anything else on this? We good?
User.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. And that's it. That's all.
Did you say Owen Moss Eisley?